Welcome to Primetime Analysis. I am Victor Onyango. Now, William Ruto has in the past 4 days gone and traversed central Kenya region effectively, and he has ensured that he has visited almost every county in the larger Kikuyu nation. And many political pundits have talked about the impact of this visit to the Mount Kenya region. People are trying to gauge whether it has been successful or whether it has not been successful. And one of the reasons why these meetings were conducted is to ensure that the government sets the pace and sets the agenda for the nation. You will know, and it is knowledge to everybody, that Kenya Kwanza government depended heavily on the Kikuyu votes. And therefore, at any time when they fall in trouble, they must always go back to this base and communicate to them and use every means to entice them so that they can come back to life as they were during campaign season. I am told that the kind of mobilization that was directed towards ensuring that these meetings become successful was to another level. And in fact, many are comparing it to that which was witnessed during the campaigns in 2022. One would ask himself, why would the government take much of its time to engage in what mimics a political campaign? Yet it is the government that has been given power by people to rule. Somebody was telling me that if Raila Odinga and his team are not very careful, they might find themselves out of this race because the government has given them very many low-hanging fruits to talk about, but their communication team has remained mum and quiet. But that is not the gist of what I want to talk about. In this analysis, I want us to look at the reasons why the meeting that William Ruto and his team are having in central Kenya are of little significance. And in fact, some are even saying that these meetings are failing. Before we begin, first of all, let me take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you for the great support that you continue giving this channel. Those who have subscribed, we appreciate you because with your support, we have reached 4,000 subscribers. I believe that with new supporters who are coming, we will be able to reach our journey of 10,000 subscribers as within a short time. For those who have not subscribed, please take a second or two to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that immediately we produce any new content, you get informed immediately. Thank you, and let's get down to the main issues. In this analysis, I want you to ask yourself one question. Is the meeting that William Ruto having in central Kenya successful? Is it successful? Or is there a way in which it may be counterproductive? In this analysis, I want to list some of the reasons why I think the main agenda of this meeting gets shifting, and to some extent, it is leading to failures of this tour. One of the reasons where I think this team is failing seriously is trying to smear campaign Raila Odinga and put him as the subject of their rallies, and engagements. In my early analysis, I have always insisted that in 2027 presidential elections, Raila Amolo Odinga may not be part of the team that will be on the ballot. And therefore, Azimio will front a different candidate, and more specifically, it could be Kalonzo Musyoka. With this team going to central Kenya and continuing to gain political capital from Raila phobia in that region, it basically works against them when it comes to strategizing towards 2027. First of all, we know that there are some Mount Kenya Tugeges who will shout, jump, and pray whenever they are called to do so. But there are some who are very critical and observant. They know that the government of the day is that of President William Samoei Ruto. It is their responsibility to ensure that the key responsibilities or duties that they were given by Kenyans are completed. They are talking about the demonstrations that were conducted and attributing deaths, loss of property, and different other things to these mandamanos. Many know, and I do not think there is any Kenyan who is blinded to this fact, that the main reason why most Kenyans went to the streets was because of the fact that high cost of living had hit them directly in their houses. William Ruto may have his day in central Kenya, but he must also remember one thing. Central Kenya may not be the target of Azimio when it comes to soliciting for votes. And therefore, they must tread carefully when looking at where they are focusing their political lens. Another reason why I think the tour that William Ruto is having in central Kenya is failing. There are instances where, if you look at the kind of engagement he's having with the public, try comparing the charisma, the engagement, the joy that Kenyans had while engaging with him during campaigns and that which is now. It is open for anyone to see. Plus, we are told that these people were well facilitated. People got money to attend these rallies. And for the first time, a president going out with hundreds of border riders to ensure that his team swells and he gets the public image that people would want. Remember, always in politics, perception is key. And that is why a politician can go an extra mile to buy and rent a crowd so that opponents and even other voters who think they are not part of that team get to see that this guy has people and these people can work for him. I want to give this advice to Kenya Kwanza. Kindly know that the kind of political capital that you've milked from the word handshake and from the word nusu mkate, it has its expiry date. You cannot succeed with it in 2022 and come and succeed with it in 2027. In fact, succeed with it in 2022, rule with it in your 5-year term, and then come again with it in 2027 as a campaign strategy. That will not work. And that is why you need to find a new strategy to get directly and deal with the Kenyans. You made serious promises, and Kenyans have seen that William Ruto and the promises are like day and night. They can never be fulfilled. He has made many promises, and if you look at the rallies that he was having in central Kenya, many people were not with him in their heart and soul, and they were just there for what they were being given and for what they were there to receive. So I think as a strategy, it is not really meeting its main purpose. While I know that they went there to have a decampaigning means through which they can decampaign the narrative that Raila Odinga has poisoned the mind of Kenyans with. You know, many of them think that the cost of living calls and the demonstrations have been facilitated and championed by Raila Odinga and his team. But I can tell you, and any Kenyan who is alive and understands the politics of this country will tell you that much of the demonstrations that took place were fueled by individual desire of Kenyans to see that things change for the better. William Ruto and his team must work to ensure that the promises they made are met. Because I do not know where you want to hide when you are, as a government, you have been defeated to create jobs in your country and you are selling for Kenyans some jobs from different countries. Does that mean that those countries have better leaders than us? Does that mean that you're admitting failure on your part as a government? Because when you got to power, you did not tell us that you will take Kenyans to do and work abroad. You told us that you will create jobs locally. Now you are telling us again you're going to create jobs for those who are graduates or those who have some little education to go and work abroad. And for those who have skills like masonry and carpenters, they come to work on your housing development plan. I don't know the kind of blueprint that William Ruto has that he wants to run his government in. But if you ask me, I believe that while they think they may be achieving anything, the level of engagement that they're having with Kenyans is showing that Kenyans know them for who they are. And that is why in these tough times, anybody would go and get something from the government. They really did it well because they first started by going to distribute relief food in that region. And for me, that really pushed me somewhere because I asked myself, because if you look at central Kenya, it is not somewhere that you'd want people to be receiving relief food. First of all, we know them as people who are industrious, business oriented, and also the land is largely arable. So is it that would make them depend largely on relief food? This tells you the level of poverty in the country and what the government must do to ensure that the public is well included in its entire agenda. I don't know what you think, but those are some of the reasons why I think the meeting that William Ruto and his team are holding in Central Kenya region are not meeting their desired outcomes. I don't know. Get down communicating with us in the comment section, and please also remember to subscribe to our channel. We are on our way to 10,000 subscribers. Please get to help us reach this dream. Thank you. Let's meet in our next analysis. Goodbye.